Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Young and the Restless. Excuse me. This is Days of Our Lives edition. Um, let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a solid 7. It was a 7. I think now that they've wrapped up, who all was it? Now that they've wrapped up the whole Gwen thing and Leo thing, and now the devil. Now I think they're just trying to wrap up everything with Eli, but I don't know how long this might actually end up going on because Lonnie just confessed. Well, not Lonnie didn't confess, but Paulina just confessed. Okay, so we see Paulina has confessed, and Rafe goes in to speak to her, and he just tells her, I need to take your statement. Do you want a lawyer? Because I know you waived your rights before. And she said, yeah, I'm waiving my rights. I don't want a lawyer. And so he's like, okay, cool. So she gives him her statement, and she's like, TR, she came out of the bathroom, out of the room after packing. She saw Abe on the ground. TR was bleeding. I mean, he was bleeding. TR tried to attack her, and she shot him. He said, okay, but how did you get, is this a service weapon you used? And she said, yes. And he said, well, how did you get this weapon? Because um, this is Lonnie's service weapon. And she said, well, when Lonnie was trying to handcuff him, because she came in, she said, oh, I just jumped to the end. And she said, when Lonnie tried to handcuff him, I um I pulled it out of her holster and I shot him. And Rafe not believing this, but he says, that's your statement? And she's like, yes, that's all I got to say. And so Rafe was like, okay. And he leaves, but he don't believe this. And so, and we find that neither does Eli, because Lonnie is having nightmares about TR. So he comes into the room while she's sleeping. TR does, and he tells her, you shot me. I love you. I'm not going to hurt you because I love you. And I was like, yeah, his last words to her were creepy to me. Or whatever. So she's having nightmares about it. She wakes up. Eli says, what's going on? She says, I just had a bad dream. And she tells him about everything. And she wants to go see Lonnie. So he's like, okay. So then we see Steve. Steve is, I'm squealing. So then we see Steve, and Steve was with Abe. And he tells Abe, tell me what happened. And Abe says, I don't know. I was knocked out. But Steve tells Abe, Paulina shot TR with Lonnie's service weapon. He said, how did she get that? And he says, I was hoping you would remember anything. Now, Abe does remember. He remembers Paulina saying, what have you done? And he's about to tell Steve that. He says, well, maybe there is something I remember. Eli comes in, and Steve gets up and goes and says, sir, what are you doing? Why do y'all always do this? So when he gets up and go, Eli and Abe just talk. I'm not going to hold y'all long. Abe just talk, and they're talking about what happened with Lonnie. And he says, Steve said Lonnie's service weapon was used. And Eli's like, how is that possible? How did Paulina use it? He says, do you think Lonnie did this? And he said, well, Paulina said something strange. And he said, actually, Lonnie said something strange. She said, Paulina said she shot him. He said, why would she say that? And Abe said, well, I remember hearing when I was on the ground, Paulina said, what have you done? She said, she was talking to Lonnie. And so now they're piecing together that Lonnie has done this, right? So then we see Lonnie go in with Paulina, and she's begging Paulina, please let me tell what I've done. But Paulina says no, because Paulina says, listen, baby, women who have been abused like me, it's nothing for us to have PTSD. So they'll take my excuse that I just lost it. It's something, his words, something triggered me, and I just lost it. And so they'll take my word on why I shot him or whatever. Because even Rafe was like, but Paulina, why did you shoot him? He was like, yeah, I know how domestic violence cases used to go, where they wouldn't do anything to the men, and then the women would get beat even worse. And he was like, I know, I understand. He said, but it doesn't sound like you were in a threat. You said Lonnie had him. But Paulina said, it is like I could get off on this. She said, but you, Lonnie, you ain't gonna get off. And Lonnie said, I just snapped. I saw my dad on the ground. I saw I knew he had killed the father of my children, and then his hand was raised to attack you, and I just lost it. Plus, when she was having her nightmare, TR was just like, I love you and all that. And he was telling her, I'm your father. I'm your real father, not Abe or whatever. Oh, child, it's a mess. And so she said, I just lost it. And so Lunny said, I gotta have you in my life. And Paulina says, no, Abe needs you. Eli needs you. Your babies need you. They can live without me, but they can't live without you. And Lunny's like, I can't live without you. So Lunny pretty much, she wants to tell, but Paulina said, let me do this for you. She said, because I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I couldn't leave him. And she said, and I'm even more ashamed that after all that time, I didn't see through him and I brought him back into y'all lives. So let me fix this for you. And that was it with them guys. So then we see, whoo, child. So Eric comes over to Nicole's house and he came to tell her he was leaving. And she said, are you leaving because of me? I told you I'm not going to hold you long. I'm getting right to the point. She said, are you leaving because of me? And he said, girl, what? Eric heard me too. She said, why would you say that? No, I'm going back to Africa. Oh, but anyway, so then Paulina. So then Nicole is just they talk, and he says, "I'm happy for you and Ray, for real. Like I'm happy you found someone. It wasn't gonna work out with us, so I'm happy you have someone in your life." And so they get to the door. She's walking him out, and they're hugging and everything, right? And Rafe shows up, and you could tell Rafe was like, "What's going on here?" But she said, we're just giving Eric a hug, and he's about to leave and everything. And he told Eric, "You'll be truly missed, not by you, because you already know if Eric was staying in town, this would be a whole nother story. You'd be having to fight for this girl." But anyway, so Eric leaves and Rafe and Nicole talk, and they just talk about how she's with him and everything, and that was that, y'all. Let's move right along. Let's talk about um Charles, Xander, and Maggie. I said, what is wrong with you? Tell this girl the truth. Like, see, Xander, this is why I don't really care for you. I'm gonna be honest. Like I know people like Xander, but this is why I don't care for him. He lied too much for me. So he not telling Maggie the truth about Mackenzie or whatever because he's afraid it would make him lose her or whatever. I said, well, how is this even different than Gwen? I mean, I know Gwen did wrong stuff, but at the end of the day, she did that because she was rooted in the fear of losing Xander. But anyways, Maggie tells Xander, you need to tell her the truth or whatever. And he like, nah, she ain't ready for this yet. So then Sarah come down. She was like, how could you let her go? Maggie was like, how would you let her go in the nursery? Knowing there's nothing up there. I said, Maggie, you her mama. You tell her the truth. What? Oh yeah. But anyway, so Sarah come down. She said, there's nothing in the nursery. What is going on? And so he tells her. Zena tells her Eric has the baby. Eric has Mackenzie, and she said, "Why? We agreed not to tell Eric he was the father and all that. What happened?" They said, "Well, when were gone and everything, we said she needed a real parent in their life and everything, and so that's why." And he said, the baby, she's with Nicole, and he blamed it on Nicole. He said Nicole was the one to tell and everything. Yes, Nicole was the one that tell Eric, and so that's why we're just gonna blame it on him. And I said, then you digging deep, baby. And so then he started making an excuse about a Scottish breakfast and she couldn't leave. And I said, you think a Scottish breakfast is gonna stop her from wanting to see her child? What are you talking about? She said, no, that's okay, I'll get something on the way. And then he gonna put a hole in her shirt and tell her, oh, you got to go change and all that. So to try to delay her. And so Maggie was like, what are you doing? And he was like, I can't let her know what I did, like was switching the babies, and she lost her baby, and I can't let her know she might not forgive me. I might lose her again. And Maggie said, this is not helping Xander. But Xander won't listen. So he tells Maggie, I'll be right back because he has to leave. So he tells Maggie and Sarah, I'll be like right back and have the breakfast or whatever. So then he runs and Eric is on his way to leave and he stops Eric and says, I know I'm not your favorite person, but I need your help. I said, I know you're not asking Eric, but he is. And so then Sarah done made her way over to Nicole's and she like, okay, I'm ready to see Mackenzie. I'm ready to see the baby, Mackenzie. And Nicole is like, what you talking about? See, this is why you tell the truth about stuff. Um, dang, is that all of? Oh, I guess that is all. I mean, okay, guys, that's what that was Days Red Lives. I told you I wasn't gonna hold you long. All right, I'm about to go celebrate my baby's birthday today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like, don't forget to hit that like button. If you would like to, you can subscribe to the channel, but it's okay. I'm still gonna be doing these videos. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.